Welcome, everyone, to the first ever official Chiller7 stream. People were wanting me to do a weekly podcast or some kind of weekly event, and I wanted to do it, and I wanted to come up with a name, and people suggested the Smith stream, and I actually really liked that, but I thought about it a little bit. I thought about it just a little bit and decided that the Chiller7 was a much cooler name and something that defines my personality a bit better, and what exactly we generally will be talking about here, which is of course gaming news, segments, stuff like that. What's currently going on? Maybe more detail over stuff I've been talking about in videos, because I have been noticing my videos have been getting shorter because I've just a lot of times I'm like in a rush when I'm recording them, so I film them in bulk and then sort of just upload them all at once and then like schedule them to come out throughout the week. So I actually only make videos about once every 5 days to a week right now. I have several in the pipeline, so I have talked about things that I haven't really released yet, but there has been a lot of stuff to happen, namely with on the Sony front, the PlayStation front. I've made a lot of videos about PlayStation in the past couple of days, talking about that situation, talking about them, and the pitiful situation they're in. It's entertaining. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very, very, very interested in seeing what happens there, and I have been streaming on Twitch. Yeah, I've been streaming on YouTube as well a little bit. I have, and I'm still having like the minor technical issue, namely with like the audio. There are instances where I'm trying to commentate over the game, and somehow the game sort of the audio is sort of off. Like it sort of like stutters and doesn't really flow very well. It's not very clear. It's not audible. It like sort of lags, and I'm not exactly sure what's causing it. I'm not sure whether it's my microphone, if it's the stream, because I think I have it set up on YouTube where it works perfectly fine, but on Twitch, it sort of does this thing where it sort of doesn't really work. It's all very strange, and man. It is very, very, very disappointing, and this is that it's not actually clear what exactly is going on here. I guess I could Google it now and try to solve this mystery, because I haven't even had the time to even do that. I've mostly been doing uncommentated streams on Twitch, which seem to be working fine, and is about in line with what I want to do, because I don't always want to commentate. So that was something I learned about myself, that I could do a commentatorless, quiet streams, and sort of just play the game, and it doesn't take any effort. I just play the game normally, and that might be interesting to some people. That might have its own appeal. So we'll see what exactly the future holds for streaming and Twitch and things along those lines. But for now, I think I'm going to stick with just doing what I've been doing. Try to get this microphone thing resolved. I don't know. Do I need a new microphone? Yes. I expect. Damn it! I turned it off. I expect we're going to see a situation where the PS4 is going to have two different models. You're going to have like the one that's supposed to compete with the Xbox One X2 or whatever that's going to be. And then you have like the PlayStation swap, the Switch clone, which is going to be like less powerful, but it's going to have the same functionality as the Switch, and they're going to have like cross-platform support. And you're going to see this weird situation where companies are like throwing all of their money and support at a PlayStation swap and not migrating to Switch. Like it'll be interesting. You'll see like all of the same games on both platforms, on both PlayStation 5 and the swap, and you won't see a lot of that support for the Switch. So you'll get Call of Duty, you'll get FIFA, you'll get GTA, but like none of that is going to come to Switch, even though it has like, it sold what, 40 million units at this point. I don't think they've had an investors meeting in a while, so I think it might have cracked 50 million or 40 million, maybe 50 million by the end of the year. I don't know. I haven't really been keeping track, and that's like something to get angry about to begin with, is that no one is talking about sales anymore, because Nintendo is just dominating all across the board. You can't seriously convince people that PlayStation 4 is like smashing the Nintendo Switch the way that you convinced them that the PS4 smashed the Wii U. Like, there's no real. It's now that Nintendo is on top, suddenly no one wants to talk about sales. Suddenly, no one is talking about games. Suddenly, Sony is like, sales don't matter again. It's just really, really bizarre. Like, the only time I ever bring up sales at all is when like I want to prove a point, like specifically about like Super Mario Party and like God of War, like how Super Mario Party has outsold God of War 2018, which is insane considering the insane amount the latter got for being the best-selling PlayStation title ever and being the best game of 2018. It just the thing that Super Mario Party outsold it is like insane. Oh yeah. Maybe I should start playing songs on stream now, because the Sony always wins rap. Hang on. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Hang on. Yeah, there we go.
Come on.
Oh, what? No. Shit, pause.
Shit. What's up, bitches? It's Chad Wood here.
It's Chad Wood here.
I'm talking about that weed, that little control, that looks like a deal. No. I ain't trying to play my games with no deal. No. Come on, you got Legend of Zelda where you walk around.
Little bitch ass soul.
Little shit, and it's going. Who wants to play that shit? And one thing Xbox don't got games. Right?
Games don't. Sony always wins.
Always wins.
You can't beat Sony. Come on. Yeah. So, not too fond of Sony right now. Not fond of the Chad Wardens of the world. That's the thing about Chad Warden, is that like he was such a joke 10 years, like in 2006, but like now it feels like that's the majority of the online Sony fan base. Like, seeing people come out in droves, like trying to justify like The Last of Us 2 not having multiplayer, like Sony not showing up at E3, like pulling all of this shit that would be like, really, really heavily criticized under Nintendo, and it's just it's just kind of a red flag, it's just one of those things. David Ex Machina OST, yeah. I don't know how practical it is to be playing OSTs over a stream. I would if I could, in like the background or something, but I don't have the setup for that. I'm not sure what it sounds like on your end. But yeah, David Ex Machina has really, really, really good music. That's definitely one of the things I will praise about it a lot, is that like the music is really, really good, and probably, I don't want to say it's the best on Switch. I don't know. Like, I just have not really thought about like what the best OST, like what the best soundtrack on Switch actually is. That's something that's going to be like years down the line. And plus, I don't like a lot of these newer soundtracks as much as I like older ones. Anyway, I was actually just thinking this morning when I was playing Link's Awakening that like one of the things I do have against the remake is that I do think that the new compositions are not as good as the old ones. I do think the original Link's Awakening has a better soundtrack, and it's the exact same soundtrack. They just have like different instrumentals and stuff like that. Like I don't like a lot of these modernizations of like classic tunes. I just ugh. And I love the original Link's Awakening soundtrack. It's great. Yeah, Xbox has absolutely no games. Like I don't think I've met like a serious Xbox fan in years. Like it really is a dead brand at this point. It's it's like completely irrelevant. Like to the point where I honestly don't know how they're going to succeed going forward unless like their Game Pass system takes off to like a ludicrous degree more than like I expect it to. Like otherwise they're like completely done. All they have is like their legacy when it comes to Halo and the community that follows around that. And that's it. Other than that, the Xbox doesn't have shit. Like, you know, Crackdown's a disaster, Gears of War 5 is a disaster. You have like you know, every exclusive they've had, you know, this generation has gone down the toilet. Like I bought an Xbox One for Scalebound. That never even came out, and I'm still really salty about that. But I was expecting that to be one of the best games ever made. Yeah. The whole Joy-Con thing. I was having problems with it today, right? And all I did was wiggle it around a bit, and it stopped. And I really wonder. It is annoying. Like I'm not going to say it isn't annoying, but like people are presenting it as if it's like some game-breaking thing that they'll never be able to enjoy a game again because of it. Like especially if they own a Switch Lite, and it's just this really bizarre situation, and it probably has a really easy fix. I remember when people first started noticing this. Like I think they sent it into Nintendo, and they got it fixed immediately. And now that you can send them in for free, like what's the big deal? Like I don't know. I think Nintendo needs to release a statement over what exactly the issue is, so people can stop like speculating about it. Because I've heard all sorts of weird conspiracy theories. Like I've heard theories that the control Joy-Cons are so busted, it is like impossible for Nintendo to fix. So, which is why it hasn't happened yet, and they're just kind of trying to ignore it, and it's a ridiculous situation for sure. Especially like immediately after the whole the Switch Lite came out on the 20th, you immediately saw all of these videos being made, like demonstrating that, like, ooh, look at the Joy-Con drift. It's still present in the Switch Lite. And it seemed like to me that those videos were made trying to. It seems like to me that those videos were made to try to fish for views, right? To try to get those pretendo dollars and try to garner attention. And this is the kind of thing I've been noticing. That I was noticing in the Wii U era too, in which like videos criticizing Nintendo for the most asinine thing get tons and tons of views, right? Like that Cropcat video, the painful Nintendo Switch launch. Remember when like the Joy-Cons were supposed to be like disconnecting and not working at all? And like he made an entire video about that, and then it turned out to not be true at all, and nobody really acknowledges that anymore. Remember, there's a video where they're like some guys like criticizing Wii U ads. Like it's just so bizarre how this kind of content can get like so many million views, like more than like actual game reviews, actual like Switch coverage, actual like gameplay footage or what have you. Like it really does feel like, you know, this Nintendo community online is mostly looking for negative content. And I actually had a bit of a flashback to 5 years ago. And I wanted to share this with you guys because with the No Man's Sky Beyond thing, with people trying to damage control this game, I was thinking back to the whole Game Awards thing that it was revealed at, the one where the No Man's Sky overshadowed a much better video game, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, which, as many of you know, was heavily criticized at this showing because they decided to emphasize that for the very first time, Cranky Kong would be playable. Now, that was something very exciting to me. I thought like what they showed was awesome. I thought it was the best game of the show. I thought it was amazing, but lots of people didn't agree. And to the extent to which they didn't agree was downright ridiculous.
Something they just messes with me like, what up? Like, he gets on here and
Let me see here. Let's see. That announcement was so stupid for VGX, but when you guys said the game looks too kiddie, well, it's actually much more hardcore to the likes of Call of Duty and Battlefield. Yeah, it's stuff like that. You know, these are all comments from about 5 years ago. Let me see if I can pull up a more relevant. Not happy that they did this, but I'm excited for the game. Awesome vid, totally agree. Worst VGAs ever. Oh wait, VGX, true. Nintendo definitely let us down. Yeah, I guess that was a bad idea. It doesn't really change my opinion on Nintendo. They like to surprise, and I'm guessing this really was not the moment they wanted to do it. I'm just waiting for them to say they're keeping every previous Smash character from previous games in the fourth. Whoa! Whoa! This guy was on the ball. Holy shit. Wow. Ash and Silvercoop called it 5 years ago. Wow. Wow. I am not surprised at all. After seeing how horrendous VGX was, that's something to keep in mind too. Like VGX, that VGX show was horrible. They were so bad. And yet, it was the show that No Man's Sky was unveiled. You know, terrible when that's the highlight of your show. And yet, somehow, some way, the most controversial thing about it was Nintendo, who had traditionally not been a part of the show, and their showing of Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, the best game they announced at that show. I don't even remember what else they showed. No Man's Sky is the only thing that really stuck out to me because of how much hype that got. It's just, oof. It's so bizarre. I hate it so much. Disappointing in the announcement. Was hoping for something better. And if they were planning on doing character announcements, they should have done it for Smash. Donkey Kong Country honestly isn't a game I care about the character roster in. Ooh, wow. It's just, why were they so angry? Like, I don't understand this. It's just, it was the most baffling thing I think I've seen in like, oof. Well, the E3 2015 was probably worse. That immediate post period, like, you know, that year and a half up until like the Switch announcement in October, was it October or November? Up until that point, it was just this ridiculous barrage of nonstop complaints and whining, and we still get that a lot today, but it's died down significantly, a lot. And I'm just like, man, what is going on? Why are they doing this? It's just, ugh. And I think it's like different people every couple of years because like a lot of these names aren't familiar. A lot of these people I don't really know about. It's just, I guess 5 years ago was around the time Mr. T first came on the scene, and now he's like completely declined and become irrelevant. And you know, new complainers have taken over, and it's just kind of bizarre to see this. So I guess the modern equivalent to this would be like complaining about the Pokemon Sword and Shield. I suppose that's becoming kind of an issue with like the weird overzealousness of the fans to like declare this game bad before it comes out. Like I was willing to give fans a little bit of the benefit of a doubt when it came to Let's Go because it was so radically different, and I despise the mobile game. I despise Pokemon Go, but like Let's Go was fine. And now that I'm seeing talk of Sword and Shield about how it's like going to be the worst generation ever and how Game Freak isn't doing anything right and how they're irrelevant and how they just, it's so frustrating. It's just, man. Pokemon Sword and Shield, I'm very interested in seeing what that narrative is going to be like post-release because there's just, they can't maintain this. They can't keep insisting that these games are bad when they sell as well as they do and people still genuinely enjoy them. It's just really baffling to see people like Distant Kingdom and Silk Spectre. And that's the thing about those YouTubers too, is that their primary audience are people who are tuning in for specifically the anti-Sword and Shield audience. It's the same thing that like Arlo did with like his video started taking off because of that Paper Mario video. Like it's just there's a right and a wrong way to go about like criticizing stuff. You can't criticize everything blindly the way that like the BitBlock does. Well, like once you reach that point, like people tend to like not take you seriously. But if you present yourself as like a genuine Nintendo fan who just wants the best for the company, like then you can say whatever the fuck you want. And Arlo's a really, really, really good example of that because every time I see him, he's always saying like something ridiculous about some game that just come out or was just announced and how he likes it for a stupid reason or how he hates it for a stupid reason. It's people only like him because of the Muppet, and I guess that's novel. I guess it's the same way I felt about Mr. T back in the day. But man, ooh, it's just I am not an Arlo fan. I am interested in seeing what his downfall is going to look like. I wonder how long he's going to stay relevant because I don't think it's going to last long because he's already kind of getting a reputation for being this like super flaky dude who has like who hates certain Nintendo franchises for like no reasons. And yeah, Mr. T is trash. I have no idea what it is. I have no idea what he's been doing, but man, I've been hearing that a lot. Like Mr. T has really gone downhill, and I made a video about it, talking about him and how like he doesn't make content that anyone enjoys anymore. It's amazing how he has something like 5,000 subscribers and he can't really I swear he's been at that point for years now. Like I remember him having 5,000 subscribers in the beginning because he got so much attention due to like his unique kind of Nintendo commentary content, which were so much better than what he's doing now with like this stupid imagine being so lazy, a YouTuber so lazy that he would just turn a camcorder on and just talk shit in front of a camera. How lazy do you have to be? It's just, oof. Not a fan of Mr. T right now. But on a bit of a more somber note, I heard he might be depressed, and I think that falls in line with like his personal background and. In that respect, I do wish him the best, and I kind of wanted to make a video talking about how to overcome depression. I guess I could. This is a chill stream. That isn't really the place for that. My advice would be to like find something you genuinely enjoy, and just sort of cut out all the toxic stuff. And I think that's the problem with Mr. T is that like he seems to be one of those people that's convinced that YouTube is like the future for him, right? Like he could get out of the workforce or whatever by becoming a successful YouTuber. And like he's trying to trace all these trends. Like I noticed he had like an Arlo puppet for a minute there, like a Mr. T puppet. He needs to stop that. He needs to like figure out what's wrong with his life and sort of take, put in the time and effort to fix it. And that should help a little bit. Let's see. Yep, live stream. Let's see. Oh, thank you. Let's see. Yeah. Ring Fit Adventure. I have pre-ordered that, and it is coming out the same week as The Witcher 3. So I will be playing Ring Fit Adventure the same week that I'm playing The Witcher 3, and I almost expect Ring Fit Adventure to be better than The Witcher 3. We're going to have to see because I am not exactly sure how much I'm not exactly sure how good the Ring Fit Adventure is going to be, but I'm sure it's going to be better than the Witcher books. So, uh, hey, a bodybuilding dragon, how is that not better than whatever you go up against in the Witcher games? It's just not. I'm very, very interested in playing The Witcher and telling you all what I think about it because this is going to be the first AAA game, the game of the year title I've played since I want to say like Mass Effect 3. Was that the 2013 game of the year? Oh yeah, no, yeah, it was 2012. The Last of Us was the last one I played. That was the one that really made me realize that like AAA games were garbage. Like the game of the year was complete trash. There was never going to be a game of the year worth playing ever again, and that has held up pretty solidly since then. The industry desperately tried to make Horizon Zero Dawn the game of the year 2017. They gave it to Zelda because they knew that like if they gave it to Horizon, that would kind of expose what they do and how they promote certain titles. Like if they gave Horizon Zero Dawn the game of the year 2017 and then God of War the game of the year 2018, people would like realize that like yeah, they have a PlayStation bias. They sort of have to do this thing where they sort of have to maintain this illusion that they're giving Nintendo games a fair shake, but in reality, they're like super, super biased. Let's see. Let's see. Ooh, Black Bond. Oh no. Yeah, I don't know what happened with Black Bond. I've heard that people are turning against him. I've heard he's become a PlayStation fanboy. So yeah, I'm not, I'm not up to speed on that because I don't care. I don't even watch my own A-log channel, so I have no idea what's going on with Black Bond. Oof. He's talked about me before too, so yeah. I wonder what's going on with him. I know he's a loser. I mean, I know the basic stuff, but like that was true like 5 years ago. I have no idea what he's been doing lately. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, normal people. Yeah, I would say Nintendo fans are normal people because like it's kind of interesting. I was taught. Okay, so this goes into my workplace life a little bit, but there is a guy at work who uh, has a son-in-law who is addicted to some kind of video game, not Nintendo. He apparently just spends all of his time, neglecting his wife, the daughter, and their kids in order to play video games all the time. And it's becoming a huge, huge problem. And like they're fighting all the time and having all these problems. And like this has kind of led to this discussion at work, like just how bad video games are for you. And I found it interesting that like I don't really have that problem, and like I brought this up, and like you come to work. Well, I think it's a little bit different than that. I think it's because like I'm a Nintendo fan, or I think like it's not because I don't see this kind of behavior from like Nintendo fans typically. Like everyone seems to have jobs, even if they're not good jobs. Everyone seems to have like their own life. It doesn't feel like these kind of people, these addicts don't really exist in the Nintendo sphere because like it doesn't seem to. It's interesting, right? Nintendo people always make fun of Nintendo for telling their audience to go outside, but it seems to have worked because I do go outside, and one of the reasons I didn't stream yesterday like I wanted to was because I went outside and ooh, happened across the most beautiful girl I've seen in like years, and she ignored me, but whatever. She was like amazing, and we just happened to pass by each other, so it's not like I was like talking to her or anything. But man, Ugh. Oof. Honestly, I'm happy I just saw her, to be honest with you. Like, people that attractive actually exist around here. I was starting to lose hope, but okay. Let's see. Yeah, high school like drama is a problem. I see a lot of infighting among the community. Yep. Yeah. Video game lover 58. I hate to keep bringing him up in this situation, but like, I just casually look at like his Twitter whenever he like shits on me or whatever, and like it's amazing the sheer amount of time that this drama addicted whore goes out there and gets salty about people like making fun of him on the internet. Like I think he did a live stream a while back, like crying over like how terrible his day on Twitter was, and I'm just like, how pathetic is your life when you actually care about what people say about you to you on Twitter? It's just bizarre. I can't remember the last time I was ever upset by what anyone said to me on Twitter, or if I ever have been. It's just man. But to make okay, it's one thing to be mad about something on Twitter, but then like it's another thing to like make a half-hour live stream bitching about it. It's just man. Man. Boogie got a Francis puppet. I was not aware of that. Man, I cannot keep up with Boogie anymore. Like, he's doing too much stuff. It's just he's doing too much bullshit. It's just my mind is spinning. Like, I saw him on that stream he did with like with the Ralph Lauren guys. I saw that, and that was a lot of fun. He was actually really chill in that stream. And then like the very next day, he sort of like goes out and does some crazy shit. I can't remember what he did, but like even when like he does something well, he sort of like messes it up. It's just really, really bizarre. He does certainly have a ton of very real mental issues. I would never not say that, but like, yeah, he has. I would say he's like DSP tired. He has had all these opportunities to live a good life, and he sort of squandered them. Like if he had begun to lose the weight, like immediately after having a YouTube channel, then he would have had this he would have been this huge YouTube superstar. Like I went from 500 pounds, 500 something pounds, to living a normal life with my wife, and I'm having a child next year. Like imagine how big that would be for him. But no, he squandered away in order to shove more food down his gully. It's just insane. Man, I gained weight even when eating a little bit. So I can't imagine how much weight he's gained back after his surgery. It's just oof. Let's see. Yeah, Witcher 3. Yeah, Witcher 3. That's the thing about Witcher 3 that really annoys me is that like no one seems to be able to explain what makes those games good. And people always bring up the stories, and I just laugh at them. Like if you're primarily interested in a story, read a book. Like that's all you need to do. Just read a book, and you'll have a better experience than you would have had with The Witcher 3. And like you can get through these books quicker than you can through a 100-hour game. So you can get through more books than The Witcher 3. So yeah, it's the stories. No. Read a book. Read a book. I just hate it. I hate that. And like you can't convince me the graphics look good because they don't. You can't convince me like the gameplay is good because nobody talks about the gameplay. It's just man. I don't know. That's one thing I will give God of War 2018 credit for is that like the fanboys do at least try to pretend the game is fun. It's not like we already are the Red Dead Redemption 2 fans. And how they'll say like, "Oh, realism is more important than gameplay." It's just dumb. Man, I have not heard RDR2 brought up at all. It came out last year. Man, it's been completely forgotten. Man, nobody cares about that one anymore. I think normies still liked it, but let's see. Hang on. Talking about Witcher 3. Black Bond used to. Ooh, yeah. I don't think that Black Bond is living a great life. Just the kind of person he is. Yeah, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he's one of the biggest losers on this site because the thing about Black Bond, and I noticed this years ago too, is that he always tries to convince people that he's like this really successful, sexually active person with like all these friends, like these really active social life and all these things going on in his personal life, but like that's obviously not true. He's obviously like just trying to present himself that way in order to make himself look better online. It just, ooh, I do not believe that Black Bond is a is a successful person. I just don't. Yeah, Bond is becoming more and more of a Sony fanboy now. Yeah, that kind of weirded me out too. I've never heard of anyone going from being a PC elitist to PlayStation fanboys. It just, oof, I've never heard that. I've never seen that happen before personally. The Switch is a Zelda machine. No, 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 nope, nope. I have way more better. I have other games than Breath of the Wild. So let's see. No, there are no Switch or Wii U emulators. PSP, okay. Yeah, PSP versus 3DS. Man, I can't believe I didn't bring this up. Video Game Lover 58 comes on my Twitter to tell me that the PSP is better than the DS. How big of a Sony handheld fanboy are you to even suggest that? That is downright laughable. What a terrible opinion to have. And I told him that too. Ooh, with financial issues, get the PlayStation. Yeah. It's like the ghetto DVD player, right? Back in the day, people would get PS2s just for the DVD player, which is the only reason it sold so well. It wasn't because of the games, just like it isn't because of the games now. It's because of like the marketing and like the multimedia features, which are becoming less and less relevant now that like streaming services are becoming a thing. I don't need a PlayStation for movies. I have Amazon Prime. I don't need it for music. I have Spotify. There is no reason for PlayStation to continue to have the momentum it does. Let's see. The puppet trend. Yeah. The Arlo trend, I think we should call it. I can't believe you would even type that. PlayStation Vita is a joke. It is what like the PlayStation fanboys wish the Wii U was. The PlayStation Vita abs truly has no games. It has no appeal. There's no real reason to own one, and yet people still insist it's like some great video game platform. It's ridiculous. Has weird roach issues. I've heard that. Yeah. Nobody will admit this, but Infamous 3 is Sony's best exclusive. I've heard it's not very good, but Spider-Man PS4. I don't know what the deal with Spider-Man PS4 is. I have not heard anyone talk about it at all, and I'm not comfortable saying it's bad when like when I don't really know anything about it, but I imagine it is in some degree. I've noticed no one is trying to say it's better than Spider-Man 2, so that's let's see. Yeah. Gravity Rush. I would really like to play. I played a demo of those on the PlayStation Vita and the first one, and I absolutely loved it. I would love to play Gravity Rush. If I ever do get a PS4, I'll definitely be picking those up because that's definitely something that would make me a PlayStation fan. I love everything about those games. They are a lot of fun, and it's a shame they bombed. But like PlayStation fans seem to have this aversion to these kind of games, like games that are actually video games. Like they've been trained to hate them for years. So like Sony can't actually get them to sell. So ooh yeah, Astral Chain. Yeah, great game. yeah, I haven't heard any negative talk about Astral Chain. Probably because I haven't been paying attention, or haven't because I haven't been looking for it. But yeah, Astral Chain is phenomenal. Like 10 out of 10 material. I loved it. Fantastic game, and I'm sure there are people like attacking it still. The Metacritic thing was the last I think I saw of like the backlash towards that game for existing. But yeah, that game was like more hardcore than anything on PlayStation probably ever. It's phenomenal how good Astral Chain is. I was gonna make a video with this, but like it is better than it has better crime solving mechanics than LA Noire. It has better action than a Metal Gear Rising. It has a fairly lengthy runtime of like how long is the game? It's quite a long time. It has like better boss fights. It is a phenomenal game. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Yeah. The Last of Us 2 does not have multiplayer. And without multiplayer, people won't be able to pretend that they are still playing the game months after launch, like they did with the original, where they tried to say that, like, oh, the gameplay is good in the multiplayer. Well, there is no multiplayer this time, so you can't really do that. Let's see. Yeah. A lot of YouTubers have mental health problems. I'm not sure whether it's a causation or a correlation thing. I think it is. I think it is a correlation kind of thing because like the people who want to have careers on YouTube are the sort of people who don't want to work normal jobs, and that's kind of what I've been noticing. So I think they already kind of have problems. Like when you look at like the guy with the glasses community, I brought this up before. Those people had issues way those people would have issues even if there was no video content. You just don't see it because of the video content. Like the video content just brings these people together into one place, and I think that's where the trend comes from. Is let's see. I need to get caught up on this chat here. There is a lot. Let's see. No, I have not seen. I have not seen anything on Amazon Prime in a long time. I need to. Like, I need to take the time to watch movies, but I've mostly been playing games and working on personal projects and living a life. So, oof, nope. Worst Zelda game, 3DS. Are you kidding? A Link Between Worlds is one of the all-time greats, one of the best games ever made. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, I'm a fanboy of good games. I would say that. It's just like here's the thing here is that like Nintendo games are so much better than the competition. It's really impossible to even consider the competition at all. Like now that I've like sworn off other consoles entirely, now that like I know what's going on, like there is no real reason. Like I am playing so many more better games now that I'm not wasting my time with like the Uncharted and like the Bioshocks of the world. I am actually playing good video games. It's kind of amazing. Oof. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Wonderful 101. Yeah. Normies on Twitch. Yeah. I haven't looked at Twitch lately. I don't know what my competition is like, but yeah, I have heard about the titty streamers. Oh, Triforce Heroes. No, Triforce Heroes is phenomenal. I love that game. That game is fantastic. I love it. Oof. Nintendo's really nailing these like Nintendo was really nailing um these co-op games back then because like Triforce Heroes, Federation Force were both amazing. Just oof. Let's see. Okay, yeah, caught up with the chat. Okay, yeah. So the Switch has been dominating the competition for the past couple of years, and it seems like that's going to continue until like the PS4 is phased out. And I wonder whether the PS5 is being rushed in order to compete with the Switch. I really wonder uh, how badly PlayStation is going to mess this up. It's just phenomenal how badly this situation is turning out for them. I am not impressed with. Um, I think people are starting to wake up when it comes to like the Sony question because I've been seeing more and more backlash towards these major Sony announcements. Like The Last Guardian sort of faded away to nothing. Like people are skeptical of Final Fantasy VII R. People don't like Shenmue 3. I completely forgot Shenmue 3 even existed, but yeah, it's still not out yet. Death Stranding. Death Stranding is Sony's attempt at making their own Rockstar out of Hideo Kojima. And I think that's where a lot of this hype from Kojima came from, was like Sony immediately coming out and like, all right, we're going to make you into the best PlayStation developer there is. And you've been kind of seeing this for a while, in which they desperately try to acquire talent and try to keep them and try to push them as like the best talent that PlayStation has to offer. And then they sort of it doesn't work out. Right, like I remember when Knack first came out, and this is one of the reasons people hate Knack so much, is that they tried to present the director for the one of the guys who worked on that game, someone who worked on the Crash games, as being like some industry legend, and then like the games turned out to be complete shit, and yeah, it became Knack, a living joke, and it seems like the same thing is happening again with. It seems like it was happening again with Death Stranding to like an even more ludicrous degree, right? Where we sort of have Kojima, we sort of have his like praise. Yeah, you're complaining about me bitching about Knack when you just got done trying to shit on Triforce Heroes. Get out of here. Like, nobody wants you. So, Death Stranding is just one of the most blatant examples of what's wrong with the PlayStation development cycle, in that it is, clearly style over substance. It has no real gameplay to it. The entire purpose for this game is to have some kind of deep artistic merit, and that's one of my jokes, is that trying to figure out what the deep message could be. And the thing I came up with was that Death Stranding is supposed to be about mothers who abandon their children. Like, Death Stranding is a term used to acknowledge beached whales. So the sort of mother who would not care for her child, who would leave it in the arms of some hiker who would take it across the country with him during his work, that sort of person would be a land whale. So Death Stranding is about how Americans are so overweight and so fat that they can't do anything with their lives, and so they have to go out and get some exercise and appreciate the real world instead of playing these filthy Nintendo games. Take your Sony Walkman and go out into the wilderness and network with other PlayStation players. Yeah, that's what I think Death Stranding is going to be about. And kind of a joke theory, but that's just my opinion. Let's see. My chat is going too quickly to catch up with it. Let's see. You're only playing half the good games? No, I'm playing all the games on Switch. What are you talking about? You're not a gamer. Okay. Then why am I making? Then why am I making YouTube? Why am I making YouTube videos about gaming? Then it's not like your live streams where you spend the entire time talking about sports and then talking for like 15 minutes about some e-celeb that no one talks about, some YouTuber that no one talks about. Just come on. Third-party Switch games, very, very good actually. I have like SNK. I have This, let's see, Astral Chain is third party. I got Ys 8. There is a lot of stuff I'm enjoying on Switch that's not developed by Nintendo themselves. Lots of things. Shutty. The Game Awards is highly anti-Japanese. Like, yeah. The Western gaming industry, I don't understand why they aren't willing to admit that the Japanese side of development is like superior to them. Like they look down on Japanese developers. It is downright embarrassing. Even though like they make games far cheaper, the games are cheaper to make and better. It just I don't understand what this weird elitist mindset is. Just admit the Japanese developers are better. I don't understand. I'll even say that about like the PlayStation side of things. Is that like the Japanese games tend to be better. Just let's see. Yeah, both Triforce Heroes and Federation Force are great games. They have their issue mainly is that they don't have built-in AI, so it's impossible to play by yourself. But much like Four Swords Adventures, if you do get people together and play them, it's like an amazing experience. But yeah. Has it really been 7 years since the PS4? Let's see, it came out in 2013. Not quite 7 years. But 6 years later, and there still are no games on PS4. Let's see. Yeah, Bloodborne's not as good as people say it is. Like God of War is nowhere near as good as people say it is. Like, what does it even have? Like nothing. Like Nier should be coming to Nintendo Switch soon. It's just Yakuza should have been on Switch already. I don't even know. Let's see. Kojima is most overhyped ever. Let's see. Yeah, my A-logs. Yeah. I have a whole bunch of them. I don't even know who they all are. Like, I just have like all sorts of people making commentary content on me, like PC elitists, LGBT people. I don't even know. Like, it just goes all over the map. I don't. Oof. Yep. Yeah. They're they really did turn on the Wii. Like they didn't acknowledge the Wii. They tried to pretend the PlayStation and Xbox were somehow better, even though they weren't. And they're going to try and do the same thing for the Switch. And I think that's what they're trying to do now. Is they're trying to like hype up the Switch now, only to say that the PS5 is better than it later. So like they don't get called out on their bias. They're trying to keep it on the down low. So let's see. Neck was just a tech demo. Okay, a tech demo for a PS1 game, maybe. Yeah. I have noticed that. That video game lover goes after people who like make fun of him online. It's just kind of ridiculous. You're in my chat all the time. You didn't randomly find anything. Okay. Well, okay. Here's why I don't make videos on game. This is why I make videos on games I don't play. You don't play PlayStation games. You just go to the next cutscene and then just watch what happens, and then walk down a hallway, have some conversations that don't mean anything. Uh, it's not playing anything, and that's why I don't take The Last of Us seriously. It's just by the way, that's one of my most hated game cliches ever right now. This tendency to have gameplay where you just slowly walk down to a hallway talking to someone about the plot. It's just I hate that. That is the absolute worst. I wouldn't even say Bloodborne is as good as people say it is. Like when people say Bloodborne is like the best game ever, like Jim Sterling says, one of their favorite games ever. Like, I just laugh at them because like you just don't play enough games. I mean, that's coming from someone who didn't like Kid Icarus Uprising. So how could I take you seriously? Just yeah, most people didn't finish Bloodborne. Yeah, definitely. It was overhyped. Yeah, I have looked at a list of exclusive PS4 exclusives. I have looked at it. I've made videos making fun of how there's nothing on that list. There is nothing on PS4 worth owning. It's just so bizarre. Let's see. The PS3, but no, it wasn't. Yeah. I might do like Internet Blood Sports. I would love to do that. I guess I could set up a Google Hangout and then just sort of take callers if you're interested in that. That might be fun. I was planning on doing that anyway. I'm not sure how long I can do that tonight because I kind of have to get going soon, but oof. Yep. Oh, wait, no. Let's see here. Yeah, that might be fun if we're interested in that. I wouldn't say Wii was the best Nintendo Switch system, but I liked it a lot. It was phenomenal. Way better than the GameCube. Yeah, video lover obviously isn't a real gamer. He cares more about drama and clout than actual games. True. Just unbelievable. Okay. Yep. Okay. I'll debate someone who wants to debate me. We'll have to set something up. Sekiro was overrated too. Yep. Definitely. Bring back Tenchu. Well, here's the thing about Sekiro. It had a lot of backlash because it didn't play exactly like Souls. And I don't know. I think as From deviates more and more from the Souls formula, it's going to alienate more and more people. So you're going to have people saying that like it's incredible how people will like unironically say that Zelda is stale and rehashed, but then we'll defend like the Dark Souls sequels. It's just really annoying. A clunky Darknet. Let's see. Yeah, I need to play Fable. I do own it, but I got to get into it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay, whatever. Let's see. A modern version of Ninja Gaiden. I love Ninja Gaiden, so I don't know. Nothing about Sekiro interests me. That's the thing about watching the gameplay footage. It looks really basic and uninspired. Like it feels like if you just know the enemy patterns, you'll be fine and you'll breeze through it. And I'm really, really good at that kind of thing. So I imagine like this will be. I imagine it's nowhere near as difficult as people say it is. It's just, oof. Like I was not hyped for. Has that game kind of already been forgotten? It kind of has been. Now that I think about it, it came out this year, right? It got so overhyped. It got so overhyped, right? That game was so overhyped, and yet it's died down. Ooh, well, Last of Us 2, yeah. Last of Us 2 is a train wreck in the making. I just made a video about this actually. It should go live sometime later next week. But yeah, The Last of Us 2. The Last of Us 2 doesn't actually have hype. It has like Sony promotion, which is like completely different. Like there's no real enthusiasm among gamers about The Last of Us 2 because again, the footage they showed last year at E3 was fake. The one where they actually showed up at E3, like 2018, right? That footage was fake. The story seems ridiculous. It's just, oof. I fully expect The Last of Us 2 to be less popular than the original among fans. I expect like the SJW game journalists to love it and declare it the best game ever made. But I think general audiences will not like it as much as the original. Um, I don't think there's any real hype for it. I think it's the typical PlayStation exclusive cycle where like it comes out, it sells, supposedly sells millions of units, and then it becomes completely irrelevant like a couple of weeks later. I think that's what's going to happen. Just like God of War 2018, just like Horizon Zero Dawn, there's nothing different here. There's nothing new. You can't even say that like it has a female protagonist now because like Horizon Zero Dawn already did that. It's just, oof. Now you have like lesbians smoking weed and just I don't think it's gonna go over well. I made a video about that, but about this, but like people are complaining. People in the SJW community are complaining about the fact that like Ellie's love interest dies, and it's just like how it's supposedly like a homophobic or some shit. Like it's just oof. So yeah, the people who this is pandering to aren't impressed with it. So I think it's going to go downhill. Yeah, I think I could do better blood sports than the kill stream because people get more emotional about like video games than they do actual serious issues. I would love to do that. We just have to find someone worthy of an internet blood sports, like maybe some hardcore PlayStation fanboy or something like that. Restart blood sports, because that would be fun, man. Let's see, Metroid Prime 4. The thing about Metroid Prime 4 is that like I think I was openly critical of them announcing it the way they did. I don't remember exactly what I said, but like I think I think they are announcing games too early. Right? Like that's one of the things I really liked about the certain games too early. I think they're trying too hard to like announce certain games early, so like angry fanboys don't rage about those games not being acknowledged. Right? Like Metroid has had this problem for years. Well, people like freak out if we don't get a Metroid game every couple of years. Yeah. That's the thing that gets me about Adventure Time and why that was so praised. Like they set it up so there was like, so like the lesbian couple were like immortal or some shit, and like didn't it like define the entire finale or something like that? It just they have no self awareness. They don't seem to be aware that their dream relationships can only occur in fantasy lands. It just I don't know why they keep. I'm getting really tired of like lesbians being shoved into like everything. It's just so ridiculous. Like I hope it starts getting called out more because it really is like pandering and kind of obnoxious and just really needs to go. Let's see. Yeah, Metroid is overrated. As much as I love it, like I do love Metroid, I do, but the fanboy backlash towards Other M and everything that happens after that, right, was just downright ridiculous. And like I always have said that. It's just it really does feel like Metroid is this like the series that like most Pretendos kind of rally around in order to like push Nintendo in like a more mature direction. Like Mario needs to be realistically rendered. Zelda needs to take place in modern times. You need to have sex and swearing all the time. It's just I don't know. Like Metroid's a really good example of how this community is just nothing but a vocal minority because these games don't sell. Like I was playing Samus Returns right when the stream started, and that game didn't sell all of that well. Like it sold like what, almost 1 million units or something like that. Like nowhere near as well as like Fire Emblem Awakening or some other things on Nintendo platforms. But and this was after the whole Other M backlash. people would rather rage about Federation Force existing than actually play the new Metroid game. So yeah, it's kind of difficult for me to take the Metroid fans seriously. All right, so how exactly should we do this debate thing? I think I'll set up a call, a Google Hangout. Let's see. Yep. Yeah, I gotta get going soon, so we might as well get this figured out to make sure the quality is there. And yeah, let's see what happens. Oops, was that the one I sent out? I had two tabs open. I forgot. There we go. All right. That's gonna be great. I'm really looking forward to it. Yep. Anyone can come in. Hang on. Was that the right link? Let's make sure that was right. Yeah. Other M needs to be adjusted more. It needs to be Other M needs to sort of be adjusted. It sort of needs to grow. It sort of needs to evolve. I really liked the general gameplay of Other M. They just need to work on the level design more. They need to work on the storyline more. Make it feel more like a Metroid game. Do certain stuff. Otherwise, it was a really ambitious Metroid game from Nintendo, and I really enjoyed that. I'm surprised no one's come in yet. Are we doing this right? Uh, yeah. Okay. So yeah, Metroid is just yeah. I don't know. Like it says a lot about Metroid fans, in which people were more concerned about Federation Force merely existing than getting upset over Prime 4. It's just so embarrassing. I hate that. Oh, it's not. Uh, that's weird. I posted the link. Let's see here. What? No, I'm here. It says I'm here. It says I'm the only one here. Let's see. Yeah, post another link. Invite people. Link. So yeah, ready for some internet blood sports. Assuming we can get this to work. Oof. I probably shouldn't be doing this now because I don't have too much time. I want to be upfront with that. Oh, there he is.
Yo.
Yeah. Hey. Who is this?
You know who this is.
Oh, video game lover? Yeah, so you're the first one to come on, huh?
Well, no one else was coming. I don't know why that one guy, what's his name, that, and 224 dude is in here, because he said he wanted to debate you.
Yeah, there were a couple of guys. I was kind of I was kind of expecting people to come jumping in. I guess I just posted the wrong link or something. All right. So what did you want to talk about today?
The PSP is better than the 3DS.
Yeah, that's blatantly not true. I told you this on Twitter. There is nothing on PSP. I can't think of a single thing on PSP.
War games, plenty of RPGs that pretty much sandwich the 3DS library, bunch of racing games, emulation.
Emulate. Okay. So you can't even. Okay, so you can't even begin to hype up the PSP without bringing up emulation. That's how desperate you are. You need to like pirate games and put them onto your console in order to have games to play.
Well, let me go on here. I'm gonna play Super Mario Land 2 on my PSP.
Yeah, I can do that on my 3DS legally. I bought it. Just why? I don't understand why you're so insistent that the PSP is better than like the DS line. That makes no sense to me. There's nothing on the PSP that anyone remembers.
I think the DS is way better than the PSP, but the fact that Shell Fox is saying the PSP was a failure is completely wrong.
No, it was a failure because the line immediately faded into obscurity. The Vita came out, was a disaster, and now Sony probably is never going to make a handheld ever again. They were crushed by Nintendo in the mobile market. So Sony failed.
The fail wasn't because of Nintendo, it was Sony itself with the memory card. That's why.
No. The 3DS was just a better console. Like the Vita had nothing going for it.
I think if the memory card was expensive, it was sold like.
Like I don't think so. Like I think the Vita was doomed to failure. It had nothing going for it, nothing at all.
So let's take a look at the 3DS. It had the worst Super Mario game, one of the worst Zelda games.
No, Triforce Heroes is really, really good. I'll give you New Super Mario Bros. 2. It's not bad, but it's not great either. But Triforce Heroes is great.
One of the weakest Mario cards. One of the weakest.
I still like Mario Kart 7.
Yes, it's not bad, but it's not as good as the DS one.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
The worst Metroid. Luigi Mansion Garden was just good as the first one.
Well, no. Those games are completely different from one another. You can't even really compare them. And I want to stop you there because I really want to bring this up. I've mentioned this in videos before. You cannot judge a console by its bad games. You judge it by its good ones. And like the 3DS has like some, generation-defining titles on it. You have like Fire Emblem Awakening. You have A Link Between Worlds. You have like
Fire Emblem Awakening was very good, and I'll give you that. But it also inadvertently led Fire Emblem to a terrible direction for 3 houses.
Wait.
So although that is a really good game, you also almost killed Fire Emblem process.
Wait,
again.
Are you saying Fire Emblem is dead after 3 houses, which is amazing?
What? No! Jesus Christ, dude! I didn't say that!
Yes, you did.
No, dumbass! Good God, you can't hear for shit. Well, the thing was, Fire Emblem Awakening was very good at almost the series. I get like what happened with the Fire Emblem games. It was a disaster, but 3 houses once again revived the franchise. And also that molded. So I never said Fire Emblem was dead.
It sounded like you did, yeah.
Jesus Christ, man, you just don't know how to hear that one. Oh my goodness. Anywho, let's take a look. The Kirby games are fine. Those are good on the 3DS. Let's see. We got the worst game. That's undeniable. So yeah.
The worst Pikmin game? Hey, Pikmin wasn't bad. But yeah, like I said, you can't.
Undeniably the worst industry. Compared to the other industry, it's the worst.
I think I like it more than 2. I don't care for 2 that much.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, anyway. Yeah, like I said, you can't judge a console by its bad games. And 3DS kind of excels at these amazing, some of the best titles of all time, I would say. Kid Icarus Uprising has its cult following. Let's see.
That's a good
Pokemon,
one.
like I said, Fire Emblem, Zelda.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Samus Returns is great. I really like games like Rune Factory 4. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. The 3DS is a good system, but I don't think it's nowhere near the amazing system that some people are saying. And I'm just saying it has the weakness of the first part compared to the D.
I like 3DS more than DS. Yeah.
DS is better than PSP. I'm like, yeah, it's impossible. The DS library just destroys the PSP library. But when you look at the PSP library and the 3DS library, the PSP actually wins it, mainly for getting up each and finding games and other genres on that system. The PSP is the only non-Nintendo handheld that actually made Nintendo help. It's the one that actually was successful that was non-Nintendo. There you go.
No, it wasn't successful. Sony just put a ton of money into it, trying to get it to take off, and it failed. Like, within 2 generations, the PlayStation handheld line is dead. It's never coming back. It's irrelevant. They cannot compete with Nintendo. They're gone. Like, failure, complete failure.
The Vita was a failure, not the PSP.
The PSP was a failure.
It's not. How is it a failure if it's still $84 million?
Because it led into the PS Vita, and the PlayStation Vita flopped so hard that it killed the entire line.
Why do you think the Wii U is a failure?
No, the Wii U led into the Switch, which is super successful.
The Wii U is a failure.
And the Wii U had way better games than the PlayStation, than any of the both the PlayStation Portable and the PlayStation Vita. The Wii U has like several games that I would consider to be some of the best ever made, and it does have an enduring legacy as being like this very underrated console. Far more so, it's far more deserving of that reputation, I think, than really terrible consoles like the Sony PlayStation 3, the PlayStation Vita, and the Sega Dreamcast. Like, Wii U is better than all of those. So.
Whoa! Now that's just blasphemy. That's blasphemy.
No. Like, you can't say that the Wii U is a failure and then turn around and say, like, oh, the Sega Dreamcast, that was good. No, the Dreamcast was complete shit. The Dreamcast only had, like, the only thing the Dreamcast had going for it was that, like, it was a next generation console that came out a little bit before the others. So it that came out during the earlier than its competition. So it sort of had some cutting edge games, all of which have not aged well. Like, just try playing Sonic Adventure today.
A lot of the arcade games at Power Stone have aged very well. Confidence Mission is still a very great shooter. House 2 is really good.
Like most things on Dreamcast have sort of most, I would say, have been re-released again on other platforms. And right now I'm just waiting for the inevitable Switch versions of everything that was on Dreamcast. And there's not a whole lot I want to play, but I don't think the Dreamcast library holds up the way the Wii U library holds up.
Oh, yeah. That's blasphemy. That is the most blasphemous statement I've heard in all that.
Well, like, Sega fans, I don't know. Like, Sega never really competed with Nintendo either. They sort of relied on, like, their marketing campaigns and sort of, like, presenting themselves as being, like, the cooler alternative to Nintendo. And now that they don't really, I don't know. Once PlayStation entered the picture, they couldn't really keep up that image. And that's kind of why they faded away and stopped being relevant. And
they like the Sega was getting. Sega America put the ball on. Sega's the most. Sony asking.
Yeah, the American branch of everything ruined it.
Nothing to do with their demise.
Yep. Let's see. What's the chat say? Can you get an intelligent guest? One who actually plays games. Someday. Let's
Actually,
see.
I do play games. No matter what, I play 3. So I'm gonna what the fuck I think. Okay.
Yeah, Shenmue is overrated. Just Shenmue is a really good example of what I think of like the Dreamcast library because it is like this overproduced mess that was way too expensive, and it just it wasn't even a practical idea to begin with. Like even if the Dreamcast was like a huge hit, I don't think this thing would have panned out well. And now we have Shenmue 3 with like Suzuki coming out here and like saying all this crazy shit about how he wants to make like 17 parts this story or some shit like that. It's just
so you say that I enjoyed the system based on a few bad games, but you are a system.
Well, here's the thing here. Like, we're talking about like some of the most acknowledged and popular games on the Sega Dreamcast. Sonic Adventure is the best-selling game on Sega Dreamcast, and it doesn't hold up in any regard. And when you just compare it to Super Mario 64, like the difference is staggering. Like 64 has maintained its popularity over the decades. Like I know people who have played that game.
Like, Adventure 1, Adventure still has that nostalgic fan, to be honest.
What?
No, the Sonic Adventure there.
Yeah, it's pure nostalgia. Well, like the entire.
Let's not like that. Memory's gone. Let me ask you something, Martin. If the Dreamcast was really like nobody liked it, why is social media praising it if it's fun to have?
What?
If you say cast like this forgotten era system, why are people talking about this day?
Yeah, your audio is crapping out. I can't make out anything you're saying. I'm sorry. Oof.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think it's on his end. It's been bad since he came on, but I didn't want to say anything about it.
It's too high.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So could you get back to your thought, please?
Okay. Well, is that if Dreamcast is this bad system, a lot of people say videos about it when the event of.
Wait, he didn't say anything.
Do you what to say?
No. You keep cutting out.
Let me just in the goddamn.
Oof, audio problems. Never fun, huh? Especially not for the audience. Oof.
Yeah, look at that.
Well, it's the last console that Sega made. That's really all there is to it. You don't see a lot of talk about the Sega Saturn, for example. So yeah, the Dreamcast the Dreamcast just sort of has this reputation as being this cult classic console that didn't do as well as it could, and it's not really deserved in a manner of speaking.
It was the most popular system that probably that was more powerful than arcades at the time. When Soul Calibur now, it was a fundamental deal because it was actually way better than the like it was back in day better than it was the Dreamcast system to have online would be used on that live.
Yeah, the microphone is becoming a bit of a problem. I would ask
now
that
I can hear you.
Oh, okay, there we go. Did you fix it?
Where's the volume?
Okay. Awesome.
What the hell? Okay, your volume is gone. Okay, well, you. I mean, what?
I was just complaining about your audio. It just seems kind of off.
Okay. Okay, let me try. Whoa, is that? Oh.
Not really. Oof.
Uh. Yeah, that's why I think it is side. Normally, when Hangouts, is very perfect. I mean, I still can't. It said we has a bigger legacy than the Dream has.
Well, yeah, it does. I love my Wii U. It's fantastic. So many great games. So many great memories that I still play to this day. Fantastic. Wonderful, even. Whew. Well, have I been streaming for an hour and a half already? Yeah, I need to be going soon. So, yeah, if you have anything else to say, I think we're going to have to.
Super Mario 2 my PSP. Okay, is there a? Why do people disagree with me? I don't do that. The only time a lot of people flat out shit that the topic. Okay. Oh, can I ask you something? Yeah, if you want me to, like, let me type it. There. Yeah.
Let's see. What does that have to do with anything?
You just want to know if you met that.
No.
That's all, man.
It was
You
like
really
during the Democratic debates when they were talking about more about moving more people into the country than actually fixing problems that were actually here. Saying anti-immigration is kind of a bad way to say it. Like, it feels more like I'm against exploiting immigrants, right? Because that feels more like what they're doing in order to bring these people here to get them to vote for them and exploit their labor and stuff like that to drive wages down and things like that. I don't really have anything against the immigrants themselves. It's more about the people who insist they have to be here.
they keep more than it because terrible thing to take immigrant. You could be anti-illegal immigration, that's fine, but anti-immigration, oh yeah, thank you. No.
Yeah, I need to be going, so I think we need to end
I
this
have
call.
to back, okay. You know, the native, the native Americans, all right, so that means back to Mr. What's his name? Colas. He has a long ass name. Oh, I want to go now. I gotta take my dog and I'm gonna live stream.
All right. Oof. All right. So that's it. The call's over. Oof. And the audio thing, I'm not sure whether that was him or me. I think we're going to have to figure out a better way to take callers. Because I don't know. I've been having these weird audio problems. Ugh. Well, I mean, if no one's... I don't know. How did it sound in the chat? Yeah, definitely got to fix it. Yeah, I'll have to look into this. Yep. So yeah, any last questions for me before before I sign off for the night? I gotta get going here soon. I think I'll try to figure out this audio thing. Come on. Actually, I probably should be going now. I have a lot of stuff to do. So yeah, I think I'll cut it off now, and then see you later. Thank you for tuning in, by the way. Thank you.